couple weeks ago, we lost to Hillcrest. If you were at that game, it was a really unique game. And I'm not going to sound like Coach Bowden up here, but we beat them in almost every statistical category except for the scoreboard. We were inside the red zone 6 times and only scored 6 points. And it was frustrating. Our defense played great. They only gave up 10 points. They blocked a field goal and ran it like 90 yards back for a touchdown, and then they picked one off and ran it back for a touchdown. So defensively, we played really good. And offensively, between the 20s, we played great. We just couldn't, find a way to punch it in. The next week, we played Wade Hampton this past week. The cool thing about that game is, and this is nothing against Wade Hampton, but we had an opportunity to let a lot of our guys that really help us at practice get an opportunity to get in the game. And we played, I think, everybody on our team pretty much the whole second half. And it was really nice to be able to cheer those guys on that sometimes are kind of the unsung heroes when you're trying to build a team. And it was a lot of fun watching them get a chance to play. This week we've got Greenwood, which is a big game for us. It's our second region game. They come to us. They're a little bit of a wounded dog right now, so it kind of scares you a little bit, for a variety of different reasons. But they're still a formidable opponent. They're really good on defense. Very similar to last year, if you were at last year's game. They're really good on defense. They've struggled a good bit on offense, and we just hope that they don't find a way to get it clicking until the week after next. So, but we're excited about it. We feel like we got as good a team as we've had since we've been in Lawrence. And for those of you, everybody defines team in a different way, but for those of you that define team the way I do, you know what I'm talking about. And that makes it fun every week, practice and everything else. But I brought some of our team with us today, and I'd like to introduce them just real quick. If you stand up when I call you. This is Jeremiah Fuller. This is Mark McGowan. This is Kay Liner. And this is Garrett Addy. Y'all stand up, stand up just for a second. I brought these guys for a reason. 3 of these guys were our, we don't celebrate losses, so we don't do a offensive player of the week or defensive player of the week or any of that kind of stuff when we lose. We only do it when we win. But I brought Mark. Mark was not one of our players of the week this past week, but Mark is probably, if I had to rank it, maybe the biggest surprise of the 2019 season for the Raiders. Mark didn't play a whole lot last year, but he busted his absolute rear end, and this kid's got a legitimate shot of continuing to play on Saturday after this year. He's an awesome kid. He can fly. He's physical, and he's tall for a corner. So, he's kind of what the guys are looking for right now as a defensive back. But we're blessed to have Mark on our team. Jeremiah Fuller. Jeremiah is one of our starting running backs. Jeremiah is just that guy. He does everything right. And when you walk off the practice field, he's going to ask you, Coach, what can I do to help this team get better? And that is so refreshing to hear in the era that we live in. There's not a more selfless human being on this earth than Jeremiah Fuller, and we certainly appreciate him. I've got my son here with me, Kay Liner. I brought Kay. He was our special teams player of the week. He also starts at safety for us. He had to go in last week. We were having some issues with our PAT team, and that had hurt us the week before. And we were also having some issues with our punter. So he had to come in and assume those roles and did a really good job, and we appreciate him that very much. And then I brought Garrett Addy. To me, Garrett is the ultimate Raider. He is that guy that does a little bit of everything for us and doesn't say a daggone word. And again, the same thing I said about Jeremiah, I could say about Garrett. Garrett starts at defensive end. He also plays linebacker. He also plays fullback. He does a little bit of everything, and he's a tough, hard-nosed, smart, just physical guy that, he's just awesome. I don't really know how to say it any better than that, but he's just freaking awesome. We appreciate you, Garrett. Appreciate all you guys. Thank y'all so much for having us, and look forward to seeing you again.
I know how much that community means to you. So, guys, if your coach is a little bit more intense this week, I'm sure he won't listen. Next up, our Cleveland Red Devils. I'm going to bring up Coach Corey Fountain, who's going to talk about the previous 2 weeks and also a look ahead. This is head football coach Corey Fountain of the Cleveland Red Devils.
Appreciate you guys coming out and supporting football in Lawrence County. This is an awesome event that you guys put on. We appreciate the sponsors and everybody involved. 2 weeks ago, we played Powdersville. We were able to get a win under our belt, and that felt good. Started out the game, 3 or 4 plays, and we scored. I'm like, whoa, I was having flashbacks. And I was like, man, that's nice. Then we hit a wall, couldn't hold on to the ball, couldn't sustain drives. Went into the halftime 9-0. Finished the game up strong in the 4th quarter, scored 3 touchdowns. That's always good to get a win. It would have been nice to have a bye week. We could have celebrated that 2 weeks, but we didn't. We had to run into the Hurricanes of Wren and their explosive team. They've got great team speed. Their defense doesn't get a lot of credit, but their defense is really good as well. And that's the kind of game you want to flush. Got Pendleton this week. The Bulldogs, on film, it looks like they've gotten better each week. They've got a new quarterback, JV quarterback they pulled up. He did a good job for them. They lost against BHP, but they still got better each week, and they look pretty good in that game. So we'll have our work cut out for us. I think it'll be a good game. Our guys are ready to play. They're focused this week at practice the last 3 days. The Hurricanes, they took a couple of players with them after this week, so there was going to be some new faces and some new positions. But that's how it goes sometimes. We're going to be prepared for the Pendleton Bulldogs and be ready to hit them in the mouth this Friday. Today I have with me Greg Sanders. If you would stand up, Greg. Greg Sanders is one of those guys, like he talked about with Mr. Addy, that just does anything and everything you ask him to. He wears number 32. You would think there's more 32s. You would think we have more than 132 because he might be on defensive end. He's going to be a fullback. He might be a tailback. He's going to be on special teams. He's everywhere. And he does everything you ask him to do when you ask him to do it. And as hard as he can possibly do it, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. Right next to him, we got Jacory Gary. If you would stand up. He's not big, but his heart probably encompasses his whole body because that's the kind of heart he has. He has a big heart. He plays with passion. He plays with fire. He does everything we ask him to do, when we ask him to do it, how we ask him to do it. And he does a great job for us as well. He's on special teams. He's a running back. He's had 3 or 4 touchdowns called back this year. But he keeps running no matter what's going on, no matter if we're winning, losing in the game, if we're down by a lot or down by a little, he's going to give you everything he's got. He's going to block. He's going to run the rock and tackle on defense. He's everywhere as well. And I appreciate both these guys and what they mean to our team and what they mean as a Red Devil. And hopefully we can get everybody with the same mindset, the same fire, and the same work ethic as these 2 guys. If you would just give these guys a hand.
Thank you, Coach Fountain. It is homecoming at Clun High School Friday night. Always a special time in Clun. Homecoming this Friday night as they get ready to take on Pendleton. Also playing at home this week is the Lawrence Academy Crusaders. I'm going to bring up now their headmaster, their head football coach, Coach Todd Kirby.
Thank you so much. And let me get a correction on that. We were playing away, but I don't know what world you're living in. But anyway, we are playing away, and there is a typo there. Forgive us for that. And the folks who're supposed to know we're going playing away do know we're playing away. So anyway, thanks again, Touchdown Club. Buddy and I are friends sometimes. So anyway, he can handle that. Listen, we've had 2 wins here. Let me get the numbers straight here. No, we've had a loss in it. We've got 2 wins, but we had a loss 2 weeks ago. Played St. John's coming out of Charleston, North Charleston. And I felt good going into the game. And they had a quarterback like they had last year. I thought we could contain him a little bit, but he was too much. Couldn't tackle him. And they, as you can see, they ended up putting a lot of points on the board. I was pleased, and I'm looking at year to year. I was pleased at how we competed this year rather than last year. And I say that because we had a number of 3rd and longs, and I was so proud, and we just couldn't let him scramble. And when he scrambled, he was very successful. He could put it in the end zone, or he could get a first down and stop the next down or something to that effect. Anyway, great player. But again, I was pleased with our performance. We've gotten better. We've gotten better. Although I'm talking left and right and back and forth here, we've gotten better. Although they were simply a better football team than us. They had their skilled people were very good, and just struggled tackling the quarterback. The following week, went down to King, one of our traditional opponents, and we outmanned them. We've not outmanned anybody, guys, since I've been the last 5 or 6 years. And the game, the scores, you can see, indicated. I think it's 56. Had some good, it's probably our best game we've played. As a coach, you sometimes say, well, I don't know how good they are, but I know how we played. And I was so pleased at how we played. It was 26-0 in the first quarter, and I can't remember the last time we could do that against air, all right, against nobody on the field, all right? So we have improved, and we've had some kids get better. And I'm going to go back to 2 weeks. I should have brought him, but he was gone on a family night to Arizona. Dimitri, stand up, please. He was our defensive special teams player of the week 2 weeks ago, or our first ball game, and he was unable to come. Dimitri also plays center, but he has to cover for us on the kickoff team. Very good athlete, better athlete than he thinks, and he's getting better daily. He's gotten better, obviously, since last year, and I told him that. And he's got a lot of potential. But anyway, had 2 tackles on the kickoff team when we kick it deep, by the way, and he just done a good job. Doubles the center and also on the kicking team. Thank you. That's super. Demonte Grant, he's been here before. Continues to give me a big rush at defensive end. I don't know what I'd do without him over there. Pressures the quarterback or sacks the quarterback. He's a difference maker. He's a big target on offense. He runs a great drag pattern, and we need him to keep doing that. We need him to keep growing because he's grown since yesterday. But he needs to keep growing or keep doing what he's doing, and he's going to end up with a great career at Orange Academy. Have a seat, partner. I don't know these two. They're twins, as you can see. I don't know the difference in them. They don't know what 1145 is. I know that. We're going to get that corrected. Anyway, hey, Zachary, stand. No. Let's go with Hunter first. The other Hunter. There you go. This is Hunter Molinax. Hunter plays center, and I didn't know this, but he's a special teams guy too. We had a player winded a couple of times. He's the contained guy on the kickoff team, and he looks like a special team cover guy, right? Anyway, he gets 2 tackles on the kickoff team, and I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I asked him, are they running into you? Are they running into you? Anyway, I'm kidding in that aspect, but I will say this. He has started on off at Orange Academy at guard and at center and does a tremendous job. He and his brother obviously have been here, have only been with us since the 9th grade, and they have grown to become Orange Academy folks. We love them to death, and they're getting better. They're getting better, so I appreciate it. Have a seat. And your brother, right? Can y'all tell the brothers? Anyway, he's come on, batted a ball down the other guy at the defensive tackle, right, Zachary? And is it you or who's got the girlfriend? Or him? She didn't come back to you now. Anyway, these guys have been an asset to our program. Wonderful guys. And all 4 of these guys have been an asset. Hey, now, have a seat, partner. We're going to Calhoun Academy tomorrow night. And we beat them last year because they turned the ball over twice in the 4th quarter. They don't like us down there. And you know what? They were probably better than us last year. But we found a way to win. I expect it as hostile as I can get an 8-man football game. I expect it to be hostile down there tomorrow night. But anyway, if you're not going to these 2 games, come down to Calhoun Academy. Get a map before you go. But come down to Calhoun Academy, and hopefully we'll have a good evening. Thank you so much.
Coach Pough, he's from Tennessee. Thank you, Coach Kirk.
I'm from Calhoun Academy.
As we get ready to introduce Coach Pough, I want to just thank you once again, Taste of Home, Prisma Health, game day sponsors. Coach Ayers will be here in 2 weeks, and the next meeting, when we get that going, because after door prizes, I know everybody's going to scatter. Today, as our featured speaker, we got a man really here at the Touchdown Club, needs no introduction. He's been here so many times. He's always a highlight on the schedule once we're able to put him as a speaker. This is his 18th year as a coach of South Carolina State, leading that program, which is his alma mater. Coach Pough also born and raised in Orangeburg, South Carolina. So you want to talk about a coach who's passionate, who has literally gave that community everything he has as Coach Buddy Pough. 125 wins, 71 losses. 6 times he's either shared or won the conference in the MEAC. 4 times he's took the Bulldogs to the FCS playoffs. He was an all-conference lineman in his day when, yes, he played for South Carolina State. 6 players in the NFL right now who played up under his leadership. We all know that he served 5 years at South Carolina with the Gamecocks under Coach Lou Holtz. And also, for our high school teams, This is the Coach of the Year in 1996 of the state champion when he led the Fairfield Central Bruins to that state championship. He's probably most proud of his wife Josie, his two sons Bud and Lee Judson, and now he has two granddaughters, Olivia and also Taylor Michelle, right? Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the South Carolina State University Bulldogs, Coach Buddy Pough.
Thank you. But that name is so hard to remember, I don't know if I can figure out who you are. But it's always a pleasure to get around and see some of the great high school football support around the state. I guess, you got some college supporters here too, because it's a PC town, and I'm sure there's probably a Clemson and a Carolina fan too. I guarantee you there are a couple of South Carolina State guys around here. We appreciate you guys coming and checking on me today. It's always just neat to get out though and see high school guys and have a chance to celebrate you as you go about your way. This football thing is a pretty quick happening thing now, and the relationship that you build, you talk about your coaches and that kind of stuff. I kind of feel like I'm sort of a Cali golf guy myself, and the reason being is because I played in high school at Orangeburg High School for a guy named Dick Sheridan, and Coach Sheridan played for Coach Gall over at North Augusta High School way back when, and a large part of what I am today is it's got a lot to do with Coach Dick Sheridan and Tommy Witt and some of those guys that I played for years and years and years ago. They are talking about trying to put me out the pasture. I'm getting to be pretty old. I'm somewhere over in my 60s or somewhere, close to that age. And it's one of those kind of deals where if I can win a few more games, I might be able to hang on a little bit longer. But now, we got a pretty good little team. We're 2-1. I hadn't heard quite as much retirement talk here in the last couple of weeks as I had, way back when. I'm excited about that, but now, let me tell you something, I can't retire. The reason I can't retire is because I ain't got nowhere to go. There's a place that we call home, but my wife's already got that spot. And she's already retired, and ain't nowhere in the heck we can be there together all day long. I don't know if that will work out. We've been married for like 40 some odd years, and it's a great marriage. We got all kinds of great things. And we go out to dinner twice a week. I'm serious. We go out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Soft music, bright, airy kinds of places. Just the best place you can go to. She goes on Tuesday, I go on Thursday. and right now, the fact that she's retired, she lost her wallet, back about 6 months ago, and one of the guys, one of our little super bonafide policemen in Orangeburg found her. And they said, "Hey, Coach, we got your wife's pocketbook." I said, "You keep it." I said, "Whoever had it, he's spending a heck of a lot more money, less money than she is." So, it's one of those kind of deals where, I got to continue to work, and I guarantee you, it's a pretty safe bet that. When you're working, you're not spending. Whereas when you're spending, that's probably because you're sitting home not doing anything. I was expecting some of my guys. Harold Nichols is one of my good buddies. Harold is the guy who actually made contact with me to be here this year. And Harold used to come down to speak for us in Orangeburg. The reason I said I'm from Calhoun Academy, because Calhoun Academy is actually one of the teams that we support at the Orangeburg Touchdown Club. And we've got a big group of high schools there. I think Will Spies, I don't know if you know that name or not, but Will was one of their players back a few years ago. And Bill, who played a little bit in the MLB and actually punted a little bit for Clemson back in his day. And his assistant at Clemson. Now, I don't know exactly how Coach Dabo keeps all those guys high. My son, that Buddy was just talking about, has just left Clemson to go to work at the NCAA, and in Indianapolis. And, you know, it was a fun kind of relationship to have him at Clemson and us be down there. Bud was raised on the sidelines in South Carolina. Now, let me tell you something, it was a strange sensation to see him walk around my house in orange. And not only that, he married a Clemson girl. So, you know, as we go about this relationship thing, you know, we all mixed up there. My little grandbaby girls, they're the prettiest little things I ever seen, except for the fact that they dress them up in orange all the time. I don't know, well, actually, my grandbabies have got a lot of blonde and blue too. And my daughter-in-law, who is the second, well, the third, the fourth, well, she's one of the more magnificent women in my life. I just figured out exactly who. I got my mama, and I got my wife, and I got my son, you know, yeah, and my mother. Well, you get my drift, you know, but it's one of those kind of deals where, you know, our situation is one where, you know, we got to figure some things out. But now, we've had a pretty good little season so far. And, you know, it was going so good until we decided to go on a permanent bye week for the rest of the year. We had a game a week and a half ago. We played down in South Florida. We got all beat up. I don't know if y'all remember the name Charlie Strong or not, but Coach Strong, who's the head coach at South Florida, was struggling a little bit. And we came in there, we went in there and hand-delivered him, you know, a victory in a way where, you know, it wasn't necessarily it wasn't too appealing on our side. We actually outgained them. I heard one of the coaches talk about the fact that they had some statistical advantages, you know, in the affair. You know, they don't count that, okay? They give you a big old, pretty L, you know, for when you go in there. We turned the football over 8 times down in South Florida. But prior to that, we played Lane College 2 weeks back. And beat up on Lane pretty good, but the school that you guys will recognize is that we did beat Wofford the 2 weeks before that, or a week before that. So, you know, that was a big win for us. Coach Josh Conklin and that crowd, you know, at Wofford came down and played us for our season opener. And, you know, we can talk about the fact that, you know, they're going through some growing changes. They got kind of a new staff, and, you know, they got a new offense, you know, all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you something, we taking that W, I guarantee you. We were excited about the fact that, you know, that we beat those guys. Because let me tell you something, they're still pretty good now. And as the season goes on, so they're going to get better and better. And that staff is a fantastic football staff. So, you know, I'm pretty much betting those guys will continue to, you know, to improve. That team will continue to improve. But now, you know, what are we doing now? You know, with our time off, you know, we got a little bit of a recruiting advantage, we think, on some of the other schools in the state. So my guys have been out on the weekends for the last 2 weekends, and we've been in pretty much every high school in our area here recently, which is, you know, a little bit of a different kind of scenario for us, because we've been struggling the last couple of years. And the last thing you're looking to do is to actually get out and show yourself a bunch when you're still trying to figure some things out in-house. So the fact that we played pretty good means that we can actually do 2 things. It gives us a chance to grow a little bit about our success. It also gives us a chance to get out and actually visit a good many of the schools there. So that's going really well. And, you know, as we out talking, we can talk about the guys that we've had in the past. Everybody knows South Carolina State's had Hall of Famers. You know, we've had guys who have gone on to be the NFL greats that everybody pretty much knows, the Harry Carsons and the Deacon Joneses of the world, man, Motley's. But yeah, up until the Dawkins, Brian Dawkins this past year at Clemson got inducted into the Hall of Fame, we had the only Hall of Famers in the state. But now we've got guys. We had a young man last year, Darius Miller. Darius is from over in the PD side of the state, from Lake Views High School. Darius was a defensive rookie of the year last year in the NFL. He's number 53 for the Colts. And let me tell you something, this guy is a fantastic player. But now we've got a guy on this team right now, you know, that I think is going to be that same kind of player, a young guy, a guy named Shaq Davis from down at Somerville High School, who's going to be a wide receiver. And let me tell you what, we hadn't been known for having a lot of great offensive guys at South Carolina State. We've been mostly defensive guys all over the years. You know, when you think of South Carolina State, you think of Harry Carsons and the Dottie Shells. You know, those guys that go out and knock your block off and that kind of stuff. But this guy's a big old, tall, raging wide receiver. And guys, we got 2 games here, one on the road next week at Delaware, but the week after that is Youth Day at South Carolina State. It's October 12th, excuse me. And we play FAMU that weekend. Now let me tell you something, that's one of the biggest days in South Carolina as far as high school students coming to a football game, and we'll all be in Orangeburg. I'm inviting you all to come down that day and actually spend that day with us, because you get a chance to see 2 things. You get a chance to see the Marching 101, which is our band. You get a chance to see the Marching 100, which the Florida A&M band might be the most famous college marching band almost in the world. And you know, you get a chance to see as many people as you've ever seen in your whole life, you know, crammed into one of those spaces, you know, at the same time. So it's a tremendous weekend. We call it Youth Day. So the 2 big games for us, Youth Day, that's October the 12th, and I think homecoming is right after that. So come and see us play. We'd love to see you. Our league, we play in the MEAC. And we got 2 things going for us in the MEAC. First of all, we've got one of the top teams in the country right now is A&T, North Carolina A&T, and we are all now battling trying to catch up with A&T. They're best trying to get a little bit of a head start on us. Those guys are really, really playing well. And our league is in a bowl agreement with the SWAC League, which is the Southwest Conference League. That's the league with Grambling and Alabama State, Alabama A&M, and Alcorn State, and that kind of crowd. And we play a bowl game called the Celebration Bowl right before Christmas in Atlanta in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. And it actually has ended up being one of the better paying postseason situations of any Division I AA, but we actually are called championship subdivision. But I don't know if any of y'all really know the actual denomination of all the different levels of college football now. But you got the bowl schools, you got the championship schools. We're the championship school. We're in the same league with Furman and Wofford and those guys. Our PC's actually also won. And we've got a deal going where we actually have a chance to make $1 million a piece, you know, in a bowl game. And then our second and even sometimes our third place team still get an opportunity to go to the playoffs. So it's been a good deal for us. But A&T has won that thing the last couple of years. They've had a chance to go, and we're fighting our butts off. Because if you read the newspaper, you know the one thing that we need at South Carolina State is money, okay? We can use money every kind of way we can get it. We're fighting our fannies off, and I'm excited as I can be, because we think we got a chance to get back in that deal, to get back in that race. And we ain't far off. We have a football team right now that I think might be as close to one of the better football teams that we've had in a while. And you know, when you get a chance to come down and see us on the field, then not only are you going to see all that other good stuff that you got, but you're going to see a darn good football team. So I'm excited about us. Our league is composed of some names. Sam Washington, who's the head coach at A&T, if you remember, he was one of the defensive backs that played at Pittsburgh when they were playing. The head coach at FAMU is Willie Simmons. Y'all remember that name? Willie was one of the quarterbacks that played at Clemson some years back. He's now the head football coach at FAMU. Tyrone Wheatley. Remember that name? He's the head guy. Now, I pick at these guys. I said, I remember when I was a little boy, I used to watch you guys play on TV. Well, let me tell you what, those guys are some of the guys in our league right now. And, you know, it's always fun to at least try to see if our players now recognize some of those names, because they don't, these guys don't have a clue who Willie Simmons is, because that was a little bit before you guys were, well, actually, you might be, but I doubt it. So, you know, it's fun to talk about those guys, but now, I want to talk a little bit about playing on Saturday. You guys are playing on Friday now, and our guys who playing for us want to play on Sundays. And you want to know, how do you get a chance to play on Saturdays? Well, now let me tell you how you do it. It's pretty easy. You work your fannies off, both in the classroom first, because you got to qualify, and on the football field. And you got to love it. You can't make a guy work at something really hard and get the benefit of it all if he doesn't really enjoy doing it. So then you got to work your fannies off to make sure that you get to the point where you actually can compete at this level. And it's little small increments, just the hour hand at work. You can't see some of the improvements that you make it because it's so slow and so gradual. Until a lot of guys get discouraged on their way to where you got to get to be able to play, you know, at our level. So you got to work at it. Now, the next thing you got to do is you got to choose your friends really wisely. Because the relationships that you make, the relationships that you build, as you go on about your way, you're going to run into so many situations. Somebody in the crowd got to have some sense. Somebody got to say, no, man, we need to, no, let's go, whatever. Because there's so many things. It is a hard world out there now. So when you're choosing your friends, then you got to have an idea, can I trust you? Can my parents trust you? Can the people who love me really trust you to have me in your best interest? The next thing they want to know, the next thing you want to know as you choose your friends is, do you care? Do you care? Do you care about yourself? Do you care about hard work? Do you care about all the things you got to do to be successful in this world? And the very last thing you got to decide when you're choosing those friends are, do you want to be great? And if you surround yourself with great people, then let me tell you something, greatness will come to you also. So make sure, guys, that you do everything you can to associate with those that you can that are going to be the best for you and best by you. I like to finish, and I do this poem, and Bobby, you done heard it 10 times, so I didn't say this for you, I said this for them, okay? But it goes something like this. It is called The Associates. It was sometime in November in a town I can't remember. I was taking home a pint of whiskey and drinking with foolish pride when my feet began to stutter and I fell down into a gutter when a pig came up and laid down by my side. So I laid there in the gutter thinking thoughts I dare not utter. A pig came up and a lady came up and slowly said, you can tell a man who chooses, who boozes, by the company he chooses. When the pig got up and slowly walked away. A pig don't want to hang out with a drunk, and you shouldn't either. So my point to you is choose your friends wisely, and good things will come to you and your friends. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you all in Orangeburg sometime soon. Thank you. Coaches.
Now you know why Harold worked so hard, Coach Nichols, to get Coach Pough here to our touchdown club. Guys, that's what we call real. Okay? That's real right there. We want to thank you, Coach Pough. At this time,